These 8 powerful affirmations aren't just words. They're mental armor for a world that's constantly trying to make you forget your worth. Say them, own them, and watch how everything around you begins to shift. Number 1. I am in control of my energy, not the world around me. These words are not just a morning affirmation, they are a declaration of spiritual sovereignty in a world that constantly tries to pull you in every direction but your own. The moment you wake up, the world begins its tug of war for your attention. Messages, headlines, demands, distractions. But in that space between sleep and action lies your greatest superpower. Choice. You can choose chaos or you can choose calm. You can react or you can respond. And the difference between the two is energy. When you understand that your energy is the currency of your life, you begin to guard it like treasure. You stop giving it away freely to things and people who haven't earned it. You stop letting other people's moods infect your peace. You stop letting the noise of the world drown out your inner voice. Instead, you begin each day grounded, centered, anchored in the truth that nothing outside of you has the power to disturb what you refuse to let in. This isn't denial or ignorance of the world's pain. It's wisdom. It's realizing that peace isn't found in perfect conditions. It's created in imperfect moments by someone strong enough to stay rooted while everything else shifts. To be in control of your energy means you don't just survive your day, you sculpt it. You walk into meetings, relationships, and challenges with presence, not pressure. You become the calm in the storm, the stillness in the noise, the clarity in confusion. It means you don't allow toxic conversations to rent space in your mind. You don't allow every opinion to dictate your direction. You don't allow negativity to stick to you like mud. You shake it off, wash it off, rise above it. Because the truth is, the world will always try to hook you emotionally. Someone will disappoint you. Something won't go as planned. Unexpected stress will knock on your door, but how you respond is your sacred responsibility. You can either spiral or steady yourself. You can either let that one event ruin your entire day or pause, breathe, and reclaim your energy with intention. This is power, not the kind that shouts or dominates, but the kind that doesn't flinch. The kind that silently knows, I decide what enters my space. I decide how I feel. I decide who I become today. And once you learn to protect your energy in the morning, you begin to design a life that reflects it. You create boundaries without guilt. You say no with confidence. You give your time, presence, and focus only to what adds value to your soul. And in doing so, you become magnetic. Not because you're trying to attract anything, but because you've become whole within yourself. So when the day begins and the world comes knocking, remember this. Your power does not lie in controlling everything. It lies in not letting everything control you. Speak it, breathe it, live it. I am in control of my energy, not the world around me. Let that truth be your armor, your compass, your calm. And watch how the chaos around you starts to lose its grip. Number 2, today I choose progress over perfection. A simple affirmation, yet a powerful shift in mindset that can redefine the entire trajectory of your life. Because perfection is the silent killer of dreams, the invisible wall between where you are and where you're meant to be. It's the voice that whispers, don't start until it's perfect. Don't speak until it's flawless. Don't try unless you're guaranteed to win. And so we wait. We overthink. We rehearse. We hold back. We become prisoners of potential, locked inside the illusion that we must arrive fully formed, polished, untouchable. But life does not reward perfection. It rewards movement. It rewards those who are brave enough to take the first imperfect step, to show up before they feel ready, to stumble and rise, learn and grow, fall and try again. Perfection is a mirage. The closer you get, the more it moves away. But progress is real, tangible, measurable. It is the quiet victory of showing up when no one's watching, of choosing discipline over comfort, of creating something when your mind screams that it's not good enough. And when you make progress your goal, everything changes. You stop obsessing over what others think and start focusing on what you can improve. You stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a teacher. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20 and start writing your own story, one raw and honest word at a time. Choosing progress means choosing patience. It's understanding that mastery is born from repetition, not magic. That growth comes from showing up daily, especially on the days when motivation is missing and self-doubt is loud. It's about giving yourself permission to be a beginner, to be messy, to be real. And that's where the real transformation happens. Not in some flawless end result, but in the consistent, courageous act of moving forward when perfection would have held you back. You begin to value effort over image, persistence over polish, action over aesthetics. You start to build confidence from the inside out, not because you never make mistakes, but because you've learned how to grow from them. You realize that momentum is more powerful than motivation, that a small step forward, taken consistently, is more valuable than a giant leap you never take. And most importantly, when you choose progress, you begin to trust yourself. You stop waiting for external validation to feel worthy. You stop needing every move to be applauded, every risk to be safe, every idea to be refined before it's shared. You become dangerous in the best way, unafraid to begin, unshaken by criticism, unstoppable in pursuit. You begin to live a life driven by courage, not caution, because the truth is, perfection is rooted in fear. The fear of being judged, the fear of failing, the fear of not being enough. But progress? Progress is fueled by faith, the belief that you are capable, that growth is possible, that effort matters. So say it and mean it. Today I choose progress over perfection. Let those words set you free from the need to prove, impress, or perform. Let them remind you that each step, no matter how small, is a victory. Let them give you the courage to start messy, to keep going when it's ugly, and to finish with grace. Not because it was flawless, but because you didn't give up. And when you lay your head down tonight, you won't measure your worth by how perfect the day was. You'll measure it by the progress you made, the strength you showed, and the promise you kept to yourself to keep moving forward no matter what. Number 3, I am not behind. My timing is divine. These words carry a quiet power that can silence the loudest fears, rooted in comparison, doubt and delay. In a world that measures success by speed, likes, milestones and arbitrary deadlines, it's easy to feel like you're running late for a life you were supposed to have already arrived at. But the truth is, there is no universal clock, no single timeline that fits all souls, and no missed bus to the life you were meant for. You are not late, you are being prepared. Every delay, every detour, every so-called setback is part of a divine sequence that is shaping you in ways that rushing never could. When you say, my timing is divine, you are affirming that there is a sacred intelligence unfolding behind the scenes of your life, a force that sees what you can't, knows what you're being prepared for, and arranges your path not according to pressure, but according to purpose. This isn't about passive waiting. It's about trusting the unseen preparation. It's understanding that the heartbreak you thought would destroy you was actually carving out capacity for deeper love. That the job you didn't get was redirecting you to something more aligned with your gifts. That the season of stillness wasn't punishment, but preparation. Training your patience, sharpening your vision, and anchoring your spirit, so that when your moment arrives, you'll be strong enough to hold it. You see, divine timing doesn't move according to your impatience or the world's expectations. It moves in rhythm with your growth, your healing, and your becoming. And when you finally release the need to be on time, you reclaim your power from every comparison that's been draining you. You stop looking sideways and start looking inward. You stop measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel and start honoring your own timeline with grace. Because rushing into something before you're ready doesn't make it yours, it makes it fragile. And what's truly meant for you will never require force, anxiety, or compromise of your soul. When your timing is divine, you trust that every day you're growing into the version of you who can receive, protect, and sustain the life you're meant for. You realize that your value isn't tied to how quickly you arrive, but to how fully you become. That slow growth is still growth. That hidden seasons are still sacred. That not yet doesn't mean never. It just means more is being built behind the curtain. And if you could see what's being orchestrated for you, you'd stop stressing over how long it's taking and start preparing for how good it's going to be. You'd walk with peace even when there's no visible progress. You'd show up with excellence even when no one is watching. You'd move with quiet confidence knowing that your timeline isn't broken. It's blessed. And in time you'll look back and see it so clearly. The delays protected you. The pauses refined you. The waiting elevated you. So today, speak it with certainty. I am not behind. My timing is divine. Let it sink in until it replaces every ounce of pressure with purpose. Until you stop rushing and start trusting. Until you wake up not with fear of falling behind, but with the faith that everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. Not a moment too soon and not a moment too late. Right on time for the person you're becoming. Number 4, I am becoming the person I was meant to be. This isn't just an affirmation. It's a declaration of evolution, a reminder that your current self is not your final form. And every step you take, every failure, every triumph, every silent choice to keep going is part of a divine unfolding. Self begins to emerge. This journey isn't about fixing a broken version of you. It's about unveiling the powerful, purpose-driven version of you that's been buried beneath layers of fear, doubt, trauma, and societal conditioning. You are not starting from nothing. You are returning to everything you already are. Every experience you've lived, good or bad, has been a sculptor's chisel, shaping your resilience, sharpening your awareness, building your depth. The pain taught you compassion. The loss taught you presence. The struggle built your strength. Nothing has been wasted, and nothing has been meaningless. The person you are becoming is wiser because you've lived through storms, bled through battles, and still chose to rise. You are becoming the version of you that doesn't chase validation because you've realized your worth isn't up for negotiation. You're becoming the one who sets boundaries without guilt, who honors their energy, who says yes to what aligns and no to what drains. You're learning to let go of what you can't control and invest deeply in what you can. Your mindset, your habits, your healing. You're learning that success isn't about applause or accolades, but about alignment. Waking up and living a life that feels like truth, not performance. And though it may not always look impressive to the outside world, the internal revolution you're leading, day by choice, is the most sacred work you'll ever do. You're unlearning the lie that you have to earn love. It hurts to lose the version of you who survived but wasn't free. But that pain is proof of expansion, and on the other side of that shedding is power. Real power. The quiet, unshakable kind that doesn't need to announce itself. The kind that moves differently, speaks intentionally, loves wisely, and walks boldly in purpose. And the beauty of this journey is that it doesn't require perfection. It only requires presence. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep becoming, moment by moment, breath by breath, always choosing alignment over approval, authenticity over comfort, courage over fear. Because becoming is not a destination, it's a devotion, a daily return to yourself, a commitment to show up not as who the world told you to be, but as who your soul has always known you were meant to become. So speak it, believe it, and live it. I am becoming the person I was meant to be. Let that truth anchor you on the hard days, guide you through the unknown, and remind you that every version of you that came before was necessary, but none of them are as powerful, as true, or as ready as the one that's rising now. Number 5. I release what I cannot control and master what I can. These words hold the key to peace in a world constantly spinning with chaos, uncertainty, and external pressures. We live in an age where we're told to stay informed, stay involved, stay ahead, and stay in control. But the truth is, most of what we stress over, worry about, or obsessively try to fix was never within our control to begin with. We try to change people who don't want to change. We replay conversations that already happened. We carry anxiety about futures that haven't even arrived. And in doing so, we drain our energy, lose our focus, and forfeit our inner peace. But when you wake up each day and remind yourself, I release what I cannot control, you make the courageous choice to stop gripping the wheel of things that were never yours to steer. You begin to let go, not out of weakness or resignation, but out of wisdom. Wisdom that understands you cannot force timing, control outcomes, or manage how others choose to show up. You cannot make someone love you, stay with you, understand you, or apologize. You cannot control how the world spins, but you can control how you stand within it. And that's where the second part of the affirmation rises. And master what I can. Because while there are things you must let go of, there are also sacred things that are fully yours to command. Your mindset, your actions, your response, your effort, your values, your energy, your boundaries. These are the domains of mastery, the foundation upon which your power is built. You may not control every circumstance, but you can control how you choose to face it. You can control how long you hold on to anger, how often you speak kindly to yourself, how you breathe when things fall apart, how you get back up after a setback. That is your power. That is your responsibility. And when you fully embrace it, you begin to live in a state of freedom and clarity. You stop wasting time on what's out of your hands and start investing fully in what's within your reach. You build daily rituals that protect your peace. You set boundaries that honor your energy, and you become a force that's not easily shaken by life's turbulence. This shift in focus isn't small, it's revolutionary. It breaks the cycle of victimhood and anchors you in ownership. It silences the noise of trying to fix everyone else and brings your attention back to the only thing you ever truly have control over, yourself. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you master yourself, you often influence the world around you in the most powerful way. Your calm disarms conflict. Your focus inspires others. Your discipline creates results. Your presence becomes a mirror that shows others what's possible when a person stops reacting to life and starts responding to it with purpose. So every time you feel the anxiety rising, every time you're tempted to micromanage the uncontrollable, return to this truth. I release what I cannot control and master what I can. Let it ground you, let it guide you, let it remind you that you don't have to fix everything, you just have to own your part. That's enough. That's powerful. And in a world addicted to control, your peace becomes your greatest rebellion, your mastery, your greatest influence, and your surrender, the doorway to your true strength. Number 6, I am worthy of the love, peace, and success I desire. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a radical reclaiming of truth in a world that often teaches us to doubt our value, question our dreams, and settle for less than we truly want. From a young age, we're conditioned to believe we must earn our worth through achievements, appearances, performance, or perfection. We're told that love must be chaste, peace must be postponed until everything is in order, and success is reserved for those who never fall. But today, this affirmation breaks all of that conditioning. It declares that you don't need to hustle for your worth. You already have it. You don't need to beg for love. You deserve to receive it freely, deeply, and without shrinking. You don't need to be flawless to feel peace. You simply need to stop warring with yourself. And success? It's not reserved for a chosen few. It's your birthright when you align with your truth, show up authentically, and stop dimming your light to fit into rooms you are meant to outgrow. Saying, I am worthy, isn't arrogance. It's healing. It's repairing all the moments where you believed you were too much, too little, too late. It's speaking directly to the part of you that still doubts if you're enough, and choosing to drown out that voice with one louder and rooted in truth. Because the moment you start to believe you're worthy, you stop making different choices. You stop settling for relationships that drain you. You stop working jobs that suffocate your spirit. You stop tolerating environments that don't see your value. You begin to walk away from what doesn't honor you, not because you are better than others, but because you finally remember who you are. Worthiness is not proven by what you achieve. It's reflected in what you allow. When you believe you are worthy of love, you no longer accept crumbs when you deserve connection. When you believe you are worthy of peace, you protect your energy like treasure. When you believe you are worthy of success, you stop playing small and step boldly into your purpose without apologizing. You begin to understand that the desires in your heart are not random. They are roadmaps to your destiny. The love you crave is a reflection of the love you meant to give and receive. The peace you seek is the life your soul knows is possible. The success you envision is not fantasy, it's future calling. But it all starts with belief. Because your outer world will always rise or fall to meet your inner sense of self-worth. When you believe you're unworthy, you block the very blessings that are trying to find you. But when you rise and declare, I am worthy, the universe begins to rearrange in response. Opportunities show up. Aligned people appear. Doors open. Not because of magic, but because your energy now says, I will no longer deny myself. And make no mistake, this is not a one-time declaration. This is a daily choice, a daily return to truth, a a daily commitment to stop abandoning yourself for approval or playing small to make others comfortable. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I am not waiting to be chosen, I choose myself. And in that moment, your life begins to change. So hold this truth close. You don't need to become someone else to be worthy. You just need to remember who you already are, worthy of real love, of unshakable peace, and of wild, beautiful success that doesn't cost your soul, but honors it. Speak it, live it, own it. I am worthy of the love, peace, and success I desire. Let this be your standard, your filter, your foundation, and watch your life rise to match the worth you finally claimed. Number 7. My past does not define me. My choices today do. These words are a declaration of freedom, a bold refusal to be chained by what was, and a sacred permission slip to begin again. Because no matter how many mistakes you've made, how far you've fallen, or how long you've lived under the weight of guilt, shame, or regret, you are not bound to the story you were handed, or the one you once wrote in pain. You are not the brokenness that happened to you, nor the poor decisions you made when you didn't know better, nor the version of yourself you outgrew. The past may have shaped you, but it does not own you. Every day, you wake up with the opportunity to rewrite your narrative, to choose courage over comfort, growth over guilt, and responsibility over regret. And the most powerful truth is this: no one, not even your former self, can stop who you choose to become next. Yes, your past has lessons. Yes, it has wounds, but it is not a life sentence. It is a classroom. And once the lesson is learned, you are free to leave that chapter behind and step into a new one, written not by reaction, but by intention. Every moment you choose to speak kindly to yourself, you're changing the script. Every time you rise after falling, you're proving your resilience. Every time you say yes to alignment and no to old patterns, you're creating a future that honors who you are now, not who you once were. Your power lives in the present, not in the past that's already written or the future that hasn't arrived, but in the decision you make today. You can choose healing over hiding. You can choose to forgive yourself without forgetting the lesson. You can choose to build new habits, surround yourself with better people, and take the smallest step toward your next level. And yes, the road will be uncomfortable at times. Your old story will try to call you back with familiar pain, familiar fear, familiar shame, but you are not obligated to answer, because now you know the truth. Your worth isn't tied to what you've survived, but to what you're willing to rise into. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. You just need to keep choosing growth over stagnation, love over bitterness, action over apathy. You just need to keep showing up with the belief that your next chapter can be the most powerful one, not in spite of your past, but because you finally stopped letting it control you. The scars you carry are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you are a survivor, a warrior, a soul who refused to be defined by pain. So hold your head high and speak this truth into your bones. My past does not define me. My choices today do. Let it become your compass. Let it remind you that every sunrise brings with it a blank page, and you hold the pen. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become from it. Let your choices today reflect the vision you have for your life, not the limitations others try to place on it. Let your actions today honor the healed version of you that's been waiting to be born, because that's where real transformation begins. Not in rewriting the past, but in reclaiming the present, with power, purpose, and unwavering belief that you get to choose again. And today, you choose freedom. You choose growth. You choose to no longer be defined by the shadows behind you, but by the light you're walking into. Number 8. I am the storm they didn't see coming. This is not just a bold affirmation. It is the awakening of a sleeping giant. The quiet strength of someone who has endured in silence for far too long and has finally remembered their power. You are not weak for your softness, not broken because you've been bent, not defeated just because they overlooked you. What they mistook for fragility was restraint. What they misread as weakness was your depth. They didn't see you rising because your transformation happened in silence, in the shadows, behind closed doors, through private battles they'll never understand. They saw you struggle, but not surrender. Fall but not fracture. Disappear but only to rebuild in ways they never imagined. You were not dormant. You were in preparation. You were learning how to walk through fire without losing your soul, how to carry your pain like fuel, how to cry and still crawl forward. And now, here you are, unapologetically fierce, grounded in truth, armed with clarity, and ready to move like a force of nature. You are the storm, because you've reclaimed your voice, your vision, your value. No longer asking for permission, no longer waiting for validation, no longer playing small just to make others feel comfortable in your presence. You understand now that storms don't ask if they're too much. They arrive, they shift everything, they wake the world up, and so do you. You are here to disrupt every lie you've been told about who you are and what you're capable of. You are here to rise so loudly in your purpose that even the people who once doubted you can't help but watch. Not out of arrogance, but out of a quiet, anchored knowing that your scars didn't weaken you. They crowned you. Your suffering didn't steal your spirit. It trained your strength. And now, everything that once tried to break you becomes the wind at your back. You've outgrown the version of yourself that settled, that shrank, that said maybe later, to the dreams buried in your bones. That version died in the dark. This one was born in the fire. And though you move differently now, calmer, wiser, more focused, it is only because you finally see yourself clearly. You know that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it breathes slowly. Sometimes it walks away. Sometimes it chooses peace, not because it's weak, but because it understands what deserves its energy. This storm, this new version of you, isn't chaotic. It's controlled. It's a force with direction, discipline, and divine timing. And while they may have dismissed you before, they'll never ignore you again. Not because you demand attention, but because your presence now commands respect. You are the storm that brings clarity, that clears out the old to make room for the new, that reminds the world what resilience really looks like. You didn't just survive. You alchemized every setback into strength, every failure into fuel, every heartbreak into holy fire. And now you move forward, not as someone who needs to be saved, but as someone who knows they've already saved themselves. Say it with your chest, believe it with your soul, and let it echo through every room you walk into. I am the storm they didn't see coming. Let it be the anthem of your comeback, the battle cry of your healing, the reminder that quiet ones often rise the loudest. You are not here to fit in. You are here to shake the ground beneath you, to rise unshaken, and to prove that underestimated does not mean incapable. Because when the storm is you, nothing can stop what's already in motion. Each morning is a sacred threshold, a divine opportunity to speak life into your spirit before the world speaks fear into your mind. These 8 powerful truths are not just words. They are weapons, shields, and anchors. They are the soul's quiet revolution, a daily decision to rise, to realign, and to reclaim your power before the chaos of the day attempts to steal it. When you say, "Today I choose progress over perfection," you release the need to be flawless. and embrace the beauty of forward movement. My timing is divine. You silence comparison and trust your journey. When you affirm, I am becoming the person I was meant to be, you validate every painful step as part of your unfolding purpose.